Hey everybody, it's Candace here with Pet Boss Nation and Pets Plus Magazine. I'm going to give this a minute. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay, but welcome, welcome, welcome. It is December 2017, and this is the time of year that you can maximize your sales and your profits, and you're going to be busy, 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 busy. So thank you so much for joining us today on our Pets Plus live Beyond the Pages webinar that we're doing. So if you're just joining us, looks like we've got about 8 people now watching. If you're joining us, please type in the chat thread that you're here and where you're from. We'd love to hear about where you're from, the type of store or business that you have. It looks like Jan's here from Springfield, Missouri, and Kay-Ann. Love it. Welcome, welcome. So I am a pet business coach and consultant at Pet Boss Nation, and I'm also a writer for Pets Plus Magazine. And this last December, I wrote an article about maximizing your holidays and how to make the most out of every week to ensure that Santa brings you a bonus. Actually, I didn't even put my hat on. I have my Santa hat here. So I hope that you are already kicked off your December and are just have those registers ringing. So today I have a very special guest with us. You know, normally normally with these webinars, we go and interview experts and really dig into the habits and the tactics that make them successful in their business. But today, because I want to make sure that you maximize every opportunity that you have, I brought on a special guest with me, and we're going to be talking about how to actually increase those sales and implement some of these strategies. And if you're just joining for the first time, what we do is we typically, have you put questions in the chat thread, and we save them for the end. But what we're going to do this time for the training is that you can actually, as we work through each of these chunks, you can type your questions right then, and we'll get to those during the webinar. Okay, so don't be shy. We're here for you. So today I've got a very special guest. Her name is Linda Liebrand. Linda, she says that she's a total marketing nerd with a degree in marketing communications and a previous career in corporate marketing. She ended up in the pet industry almost by mistake when by helping her friend who needed some marketing help for her doggy daycare and spa. And then she realized that she absolutely loved working in the pet industry. So in 2014, she started My Brand Buddy, helping more pet pros market their businesses using big brand strategies that she learned about on a much smaller budget. So Linda is a very special guest for 2 reasons. First, she's also a Pets Plus contributor, and she's written in every issue, I think, in 2017. So I know you're going to recognize her face. And she really focuses on those real deal scenarios. And second, she's our very first cross-continent interview. This is the first time we're going across the pond, as they say, right? And so we've got Linda with us. Welcome, Linda. There we go. Hi, how are you?
Hello. Hi. Thank you.
You made it. You made it. Oh my gosh, this is fun. It was funny when I first was thinking about doing this. I was like, is the internet going to work across the? Oh yeah, it will.
Yeah. We have internet over here as well. It's fine.
Internet in England. All right. Well, so Linda, you are Swedish,
yes.
born in Sweden, and you married a Dutch man.
Yes,
your son was born in the U.S. but now you live in the U.K.
Yes, we like to keep it interesting. And just to throw another one into the mix, we do have a Swiss dog. A Swiss mountain dog.
Dog too. Oh my gosh. Guys like to keep it international and interesting.
Yes, definitely. That's what we do.
So tell us more about My Brand Buddy and what you offer there.
Well, so like you mentioned, I kind of accidentally slipped into the whole pet industry by mistake. I was working for many, many years in corporate marketing, and my last gig there was I was working for something called Madame Tussauds, which is one of the biggest tourist attractions in the world. I was the global brand manager there, and I was traveling and doing lots of fun things. But after a few years of commuting, I kind of, wanted to take a bit of a break and look for a new job closer to home. And And we got a dog. And I thought in my mind that I was going to spend like 2-3 months training that puppy and then, you know, find a new job near to home and, you know, continue working in marketing. But it turned out that the dog that we got was absolutely super naughty and it took ages to train him and I was getting absolutely nowhere. And somewhere along the line, a friend of mine who runs a doggy spa and doggy boutique asked me, well, since you've got all this time anyway, you're just looking after that dog, can't you come over and help me with marketing? And I was like, well, okay then. So I went over, took a look around the shop and I was like, oh, okay. You are my best friend. You're very, very good at grooming, but obviously not so good at retail and marketing. So I kind of, before I even realized what I was doing, I started writing a marketing plan, got her business up and running, increased the sales, started doing window displays, got a website up and running, we did local search. And before we knew it, the small boutique ended up on the map and we had more clients than we could manage, really. And so after a year or two there, what happened was my husband got an offer to work in San Francisco and we just couldn't say no to that. It was just too exciting. So we moved over to San Francisco. And when I was there, I was like, what am I going to do now? I really, really like doing marketing for pet professionals. Mm-hmm. Why don't I start my own marketing business? And I did. And I started taking on new clients there, helping them with websites, marketing strategies, all sorts of things. And I was doing that for a few years. And then we moved back to the UK and we had a baby in tow. And so now I've got a little bit less time on my hands. And instead of taking on one-to-one clients, I'm blogging and writing stuff and helping people that way instead.
Yeah, so people can go to mybrandbuddy.com and there's lots of great, as you like to say, DIY marketing tricks.
Oh, exactly. Yes. I forgot to mention that. I sort of want to help people do these big brand strategies on their own because I know they can't necessarily afford a big marketing agency and they don't need it. They can do it themselves with a little bit of help.
That's right. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing in the next hour here with Linda and all of you watching. And I want to know, we're going to tap into Linda's marketing brain here to help us focus on what exactly to do based off of the article that I wrote about maximizing your holidays. We've got some weekly strategies. And before we get into that, I'm going to put a poll up real quick with everybody that's here. There's a poll now in the chat that just says if you're ready for your holiday marketing and promotions. So type yes or no. And Linda, why don't you take it away here and explain to everybody why this is so important?
To get ready for the promotions in December. That's the biggest time of the year. That's what it's all building up to. I don't have the percentages, but that is the very, very most important thing. So to get ready and to get organized is the most important thing you can do. And actually, just before this webinar, this is absolutely bonkers. I was thrown away by I was so surprised. I was walking the dog and walking past the local pet shop here where I live in Surrey in England. And I haven't actually been in there much because it's one of those sort of, bit of behind the sort of off the beaten track pet shops. But I thought in my mind that before Christmas that they would at least, start promoting something. But I looked in and all they had was a couple of hay sacks and crates still in their boxes, just inside the doors. There was absolutely nothing holiday related whatsoever. They didn't even they had no Santas, no Christmas tree, no snowflakes, no snowmen, nothing, absolutely nothing. And this is the first week of December. Yeah, I was just thinking to myself, what are you doing? You're missing out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's definitely important too, is like how, some retailers get nervous to put out Christmas stuff too early, but really the big boxes are doing it in beginning of November. And so at this point you are a little late, but it's not too late. I mean, you're late, but there's still time to get your act together and put up lots of white lights. I'm a big fan of lots of white lights to brighten up the space. And then to your point, exactly, like right when you walk in, it should be those prime holiday gift items. I was in a store over the weekend as well, and I noticed they still had like Thanksgiving fall stuff that was on sale, like right at the front door. And I was like, what a But, you know, that's not exciting. You know, you want people when they first come in, like, to feel the magic, feel the whimsy of the holidays. And as a retailer, you have to curate that for them.
Yes, and you want to do what the supermarkets are doing. You want to make sure that when people walk into your shop, you want them to touch things, pick things up, hold them in their hands, because then you know that once they've got something in their hands, they're going to keep it and they're going to go and try out more things and eventually buy. Right,
exactly. So Linda, the poll that I put up, it's just asking our viewers if they are ready for holiday marketing and promotions. And it says about 67% of them are, and 33% are not. Okay, so I think we need to help everybody get ready. And even if you think you're ready, I know we're going to give you lots of good ideas that you can still tap into.
But definitely in the right place.
Yes, definitely. So Linda, what's your strategy? I mean, like I know that you are very much about being able to like take something that they come up with and repurpose it in a lot of places. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So what I find is that pet retailers and pet professionals in general, they don't market enough. And it's a really common mistake that people do. They have an idea, a marketing idea in their mind, and it might be brilliant. It might be money off or a special product they want to promote or whatever it is. And then they take that product or idea and they perhaps send out a newsletter, or perhaps they run one ad, or perhaps they put one post on Facebook, and then they look back and they think, oh, that didn't really work. I didn't get any sales. It didn't really make an impact. Pointless. This marketing thing is not worth my effort. And what I learned in corporate marketing is that you take one big idea. It doesn't really matter what it is. Well, it kind of does, but as long as you've got one really, really good idea, whether that's money off or whatever, and then you take that and you use all your marketing channels, everything from social media to newsletters to adverts in magazines to press releases, anything that you've got, anything you've got access to, and you take that one big idea and you communicate it. Perhaps you just reword it a little bit, use slightly different photographs, but you reword it and you use the same idea in all the marketing channels. And in doing so, people who might have missed the Facebook post, they might go on and they might see your newsletter, or they might see the advert in the newspaper, or they might read about it on your blog. And so you've kind of maximized your chances of your marketing message being seen. And so what I usually recommend is that you sit down and you think about your one big idea, and then you sit down maybe an hour or two and you create all your marketing collateral in one go. So you do one big bulk session. You take all your photographs, all your videos, you write all your copy or all your text, and you write all your posters, and you print it all off and you have it organized so you have it ready for the weeks to come. And then the photographs that you take, perhaps for social media, you will repurpose that. So you will use that for your newsletters. You will use it for your adverts. You will use the photographs on your blog, and you don't need to take new photographs. And the text that you write for your blog post, for example, you will repurpose that for your newsletter. You will use snippets of it for signage outdoors and indoors. And so by just sitting down for an hour or two, you've created a fantastic marketing plan that you can just roll out by scheduling and being a little bit clever.
Right. So what I love what you're saying there is that the very beginning, I think what my recommendation would be at the end of this too, is to literally get a calendar, a paper calendar, if you think that way. And you've got to just like lay it out on paper first. Okay. And then you can use all of this technology that's now available to us online to schedule it all in. Yep. But I think that very basic bones is to think about exactly what promotions you're doing, exactly the big events that you're doing, and then backtrack and go, okay, if I'm going to work on, if we're going to run our 12-day, I know everyone talks about these 12 days of Christmas, 12 deals of Christmas deals. So if that's something that you're doing, you've got to plan that out now and know exactly all your deals. And so what you're saying is that you go ahead and sit down, take all the pictures of all of those things, do a couple videos with all of those things, write descriptions of all of those things, get your pricing, get it all organized, all the materials organized, and then go ahead and plan out, write your blog post, write your emails for every day that's going to happen, write out, get everything scheduled into Facebook or scheduled into a social media planner like Buffer or Hootsuite. They're all great, right? So you've got it all ready to go, because as it gets closer and closer to the holidays, it's just going to get busier.
You don't have time.
because everybody, I think I've got even some of my private coaching clients, they are worried. They were worried. They were like, I don't know, November was so amazing. Now we're worried about that December is going to be slow because everyone came in. And I said, no, it's only going to continue to increase. And with pets and pet parents too, they sometimes, you should be really busy this week. But next week and then the week right before Christmas, it should become insane because, people sometimes think about the pets last. And, even though they think about them all day long and they're one of the most important family members, of course, sometimes as far as the gift process, it's kind of thought last. So, all right, great. So those are all really good tips. If anyone has questions throughout the rest of the conversation that we're going to be going through, please type them in the chat thread and we will answer them for you. So I want to dig in to, if you read the article that I wrote, it was about maximizing each of the weeks. And I like to put focus on every week. So, because I think it just helps me as a marketer in my own, I was in the pet retail for about 15 years and I still have a doggy daycare in Chicago. And one of the things that we like to do is plan out that whole week, okay, and get a theme around that week. So last week, if you read the article, last week, the focus was on giving, right? There was, Thanksgiving, Giving Tuesday, Small Business Saturday. So there was lots of fuzzy feel good emotions going around. Well, this week from yesterday until this Sunday, I like to also think of my weeks from Monday to Sundays because it gives in my retail business because it gives me the whole week to plan. And then I have that weekend to maximize and I reset the next week. So on this coming Monday through Sunday, I would really encourage you to focus on spoiling their dog, right? It's really about spoil the customer's dog. And because, when people shop at Christmas time, they do buy gifts for everybody else. But I don't even know the statistic. I did see something recently, but it was most people always buy something for themselves and almost everywhere they go, right? Have you done that, Linda?
Yeah, that's always the first present I find.
Yeah, present is something you like for yourself. Now, when you come into a pet store, they may be coming in to get something that their dog needs, but this week is a prime opportunity for you guys to be selling high ticket items to these customers to spin it in a way that helps them to spin it in a way that gets them to think about spoiling their own dog. Okay. Maybe it's a new collar. Maybe it's that dog bed they've been eyeing for the last few months in your store. Maybe it's getting a coat and shoes, depending on the weather that you're in. But if your sales team isn't out there behind the registers, talking to every customer, engaging in those conversations, finding out exactly what that dog loves to do and what that connection is with the owner and the dog, you got to dig in, you got to hear their stories, you got to talk to these customers. They want to talk to you too, right?
People love talking about their dogs. It's not a problem to get them started. You just need to ask them what the dog's name is and off they go.
And what's funny is that I know the people that are watching this they all know that. I know that you guys all know that. The problem that I'm seeing when with our clients and when I go into retail stores is that even if the owner knows this, that the customers want that, their team is afraid to talk to people. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes we've hired people who are great at organization and great at tasks, but they're just really uncomfortable approaching people. And so if that is your team, you've got to work on that with them this week or this whole month. You've got to incentivize them or do anything you need to do to help coach them and encourage them to just interact and talk to your customers. Okay.
Something we did in the boutique where I was working for a while, it was a little bit of silly, simple role play. We would have people pretend to come in with a dog and we would have questions, like example questions that they could practice. And I think it really helped. It made the staff feel a bit more confident.
Yeah, it is about confidence and helping build that up, and they don't want to feel silly or that they don't have a solution. I found even from in my business, it was that, I had, millennials, young millennials, like in their, mid-20s working there. But our clients were very wealthy, probably between, 40 and 55. And so to them, I think it was sometimes intimidating to then approach or say, I know this, this is what you need. Because, it's just a really interesting dynamic. But we got over that hurdle and we turned it into a party. One of my mentors long ago would always say to me, you're throwing a party in your business. It's like they're coming in every day is a party because you're the host of that store and your team is the host of that store. And so when your customers come in, they have to feel welcome. They have to know that you're excited to have them there and their dog there. So it's just like throwing a party.
Definitely.
Walk around with samples. Pass around hors d'oeuvres. Have some hot cocoa.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think you should do that.
No, definitely. So we're focusing this week on spoiling initially their dog. So these high ticket items, this is the time to sell a lot of high ticket items. In the article, I mentioned that near your register area, you're going to want to keep these high ticket items. So in a pet business or pet retail store, that would be puzzles, Furminator brushes, things that are of high value that also are really interesting. If you sell high-tech gadgets, you know, that's a trend in the pet industry, is that technology is jumping in a lot of different areas. Like those are the items right now because they are in the mindset to spoil. They haven't potentially spent all of their holiday shopping budget yet. And now is the time to put those front and center.
Yeah, it's always good to have products as well that has a bit of a story behind it, or something where the customer will look at it and go, "What is that?" And then you have a conversation starter by the counter, and it's fantastic. And all those gadgets that you just mentioned are perfect for that.
Yeah, and we've got some people watching too that are not retailers; they're manufacturers, and they can implement these same strategies. Or if you're a pet sitting business, the same strategies of reminding them to spoil, featuring your high ticket items, and telling the stories behind all of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, before we move on to this next section, I want to dig into the next week. I really want to dig in as well into going a little bit further with this idea of spoiling people's dogs. So they do need to give gifts, right? And they have to give gifts to their, you know, maybe they got their aunt in the Secret Santa gift exchange at their family's get together. Or maybe they have a really great relationship with their neighbor and they want to get their neighbor something. Or, you know, maybe they have a coworker that they, again, got a Secret Santa they've got to draw for. Or maybe they need to figure out what to get their brother or their grandparents. I mean, you know, the good thing is that half of you as households have at least one dog. So the odds of all of your customers, yeah, they want to spoil their own dog, but the odds are really good that everybody else in their life that they have to buy presents for, half of those people are going to have a dog.
And you know, one dog, you know more than one dog.
Yes.
You've always got dog friends.
Yes. So it's your job as a seller of goods is to communicate to those customers like what you think they need. And so, yeah. And so one of the strategies that I think is smart is instead of just running these deals on different promotions, because I know Linda will tell us that that's not going to work if you're just kind of buy this, buy this, buy this. You've got to tell stories. But instead choosing to make some sort of a gift guide for them. Right? But instead of doing gift guide, like again, buy this product, it's a gift guide around the types of dog people that they need to buy for. Right?
Exactly.
So if maybe it's a outdoors hiking dog lover, you could create a package and feature some products and tell a story around the active dog owner that likes to get out with their dog. Maybe it's the agility lover. Right, somebody who actually goes to agility with their dog. You could put together a selection of products that work for that client or type of dog owner. I'm sorry, or maybe it's the grandparent, right? The grand dog for the gift for the grand dog's parents or grandparents. And with that, you know, maybe you've got a different collection of fun, kitschy picture frames and sayings for grandparents. And so when you cluster things together, I think by the type of pet parent or dog owner there is, and then that's the story, that's the feature that you're going to
utilize. Yeah, and you can kind of twist that around as well. And instead of just look at the owner and what type of owner it is, you could actually look at what type of dogs you have in your shop that you know are coming in.
Yes,
so
for example, yeah.
If anyone would like to target me in their shop, they would definitely have a good selection of tennis balls. And what I would suggest is that you do really, really cool signage in your shop. So for example, like the ultimate ball thrower, or the ultimate chew toy, or the ultimate tug toy, whatever it is, just to target those specific types of dogs. Or perhaps you have smaller dogs, so then you're looking at coats and cute collars and things like that. So the prettiest bling for your princess, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But by making personalized signage throughout your shop, you kind of bring in that story that you're talking about, and you make customers feel like, yeah, this shop owner, he really cares about my dog. They know who she is or who he is. They know what they need in their life. Yes, I will buy that ball for her for Christmas.
Right. So, and even when let's take that idea, either the one about finding the dog owner or the type of dog. And when you come up with these, like, let's say 5 packages or 5 clusters of concepts you're going to run with, right? That's your theme. When Linda talked earlier about like the theme for the month or planning ahead, that's the marketing
big idea.
You've thought of your campaign. That's exactly what you're going to do all month, right? So now, how do you integrate that whole idea throughout your business? Okay, well, in your store, you can merchandise a whole area that with clear signage explains each of these kind of bundles, right? Yep. You've got your social media posts now for every day. You've got videos you can do. You've got email campaigns you can send. So Linda, if we were to think about marketing this stuff, any of these kind of bundled ideas, instead of just the 12 days of deals or buy this because we know you love your dog, what are the key things that people need to do in their marketing? How do they communicate in their marketing? What do they need to know?
Right. So the very, very first thing you do is you sit down and you do your batch work. You take all the photographs. You've already done your shop displays, like we discussed. You've got that in your shop already. Now, what you need to think about is your signage. Indoor signage is incredibly important, because if you put small price tags and things like that, people are not going to see it. You need indoor signage with personalized messages. And then you do the same thing outdoors on your sandwich sign outside your shop. The shop that I mentioned that I walked past earlier today, who hadn't even put a Christmas tree up, their sandwich sign is still the same that it was when I moved to this village a year ago. It hasn't changed. It is the same. So that's where I would start. Indoor signage, outdoor signage. You need to update that every week leading up to Christmas. And then you've got all your messages, you've got all your funny captions and all of that. Then you take the same captions and you do your social media updates that we talked about before. You take photographs of all these fantastic products and you write some funny captions and you schedule it out throughout the whole week. Perhaps you have seven different dog types or people that you're targeting. And then you've got, all of a sudden now you've got 7 different social media updates, one for every day. Then you take the same photographs and the same captions that you've had and you repurpose it into a fantastic blog post. You write about these different dog types and why these products are fantastic for them. And then you take that blog post and you repurpose it into your newsletter and you send it out to your email list. You can easily do 1 email at least per week in December. People are not going to get annoyed with that. They will expect you to promote your products and they will welcome the help that you're offering them. Because that's the thing, you're not just marketing things here, you're actually helping people. You're helping people find the right product for their dog and for other people's dogs. And you're actually making their life so much easier. So it's not sleazy marketing, you're actually helping them. What else would you do? Yes, you would take all these all of these photographs and all of that stuff, and you've now got everything scheduled. Then you can start thinking about whether you like to be on camera or not. If you do like to be on camera, then this day and age is fantastic, because Facebook now has the opportunity to do Facebook Live, which is fantastic for retailers. If I had a pet shop today, that's what I would do every day leading up to Christmas. I would talk about my product live every day. And the reason why I would be doing that is because Facebook at the moment, if you post something on Facebook, if you just put like a text post or a photograph on Facebook, chances are your followers are not going to see it, because the organic reach is only 10%, even less, I think, at the moment. But since Facebook introduced the live videos, they are pushing that out into people's news feeds. because it's the latest feature that they're doing. So I think they're just promoting it. And so retailers can definitely take advantage of that and just do a short video, just stand in front of the products and talk about, you know, all the ball obsessed dogs or the pet shop obsessed dogs or whatever it is that you have in your shop. Talk about them, talk about those dogs, maybe have a dog in the video. You can't go wrong with a cute dog in the video.
Yeah, you can.
Put that cute dog on the bed you're promoting, or put that nice collar on, or the bling, or, you know, just, you know, show the product live and talk about it. And that will cut through some of the clutter on Facebook and really hit home that your shop has something for your dog this Christmas. On Instagram, you can do the stories, Instagram stories, which also helps cut through some of the clutter on people's Instagram feeds. And if you are on Instagram, something you can do to save a little bit of time as well is when you post photographs on there or videos, you can also share that directly onto your Facebook feed. That can help you save a little bit of time as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, on the digital marketing piece, I think some of the other key things is that, you know, if you pick these bundles or you make a gift guide or you've got these solutions for people, Instagram does let you, you know, you can upload 10 images at once. Yes. So you can make a little slideshow of all of these packages, right? Yes. You could then go into your Facebook ads account and you could do you can get rid of all the, you know, you can run an ad just for Instagram, and you can also run an ad now for stories on Instagram, but you want to remove all, you actually do that through Facebook, but you're going to want to make sure that you're not running those same things on Facebook because of the way the formatting is a little bit different once you upload for stories or for the Instagram slideshow. But just the normal photos and the normal videos, they work perfectly to share. Yeah, since we're talking about boosting, paying a little bit to be seen, it actually doesn't cost an awful lot to get your Facebook post boosted. And if you think about Facebook as an advertising platform as opposed to just social media, then if you spend a few dollars here and there just to boost the most important posts that you're doing, or the most important videos or whatever it is, then you make sure that your followers actually see what you're promoting. And it's a lot cheaper to do that than to run an advert in the local newspaper. Yeah, and it is a lot cheaper. That's a lot cheaper. And yeah, I think that the live videos too are so important because, you know, I love to make them interesting. I recently had one of my clients, there was a From dog food special. And initially she was going to put a picture up of just like, you know, a dog, a picture of a dog that she had taken, and it was going to have the From logo on it. And she was going to talk about the sale that was happening. And I was like, no, that's so boring. That's not going to be interesting enough. What I would love for you to do is you just had this huge, you say you have this huge shipment of From showing up at your store from the distributor. When it gets there, before you put it on the shelves, stand on top of all of that dog food, take a live video and go, oh, you know, show your personality, say, oh my gosh, we just got all of this From dog food in, and we are running a promotion, and you can talk about it there. But the visual of her just like standing on this big mound of dog food is enough to like disrupt the news feed because it's different, right? And they're like, oh, and then they watch. So, and why I like that idea so much is because what you're doing is you're not just showing that you're standing in your shop and you sell a lot of dog food, but if you do something like that every day or every few couple of days, then you're building a story and you are making people get to know you, and they're going to start loving you, and they're going to want to know and find out how your Christmas sales are going, and they, you know, you're going to be the shop that they choose. Yeah, the same retailer, this was her idea, but then she ended up drinking that. There's this dog nog that's going around. I think Honest Kitchen has made a bunch of like pumpkin spice lattes and eggnogs for dogs. And so you make it with goat's milk. And so she made it, and then she said, you know, was dared to drink it, and she drank it on camera, you know, and everyone, you're like, oh, but she's like, oh, it's good, you know, it tastes like. And so what's interesting is that, again, it's showing her personality, and I think, you know, it's really getting her some momentum. So I definitely agree to do some live videos, make them interesting, to show off your personality. Okay. Cool. If you guys have any questions about Facebook advertising or any of those marketing strategies that we've said there, please feel free to type them in the chat thread. Be happy to answer that. But we're going to keep things moving along here. All right. So now we've gotten through this next week. We're focusing on spoiling. Now it's the mid-December, December 11th through December 17th. So this is next week. And now I kind of feel like, you know, consumers, from my experience, they've been seeing a lot of Christmas stuff happening. They have been the busy at work. You know, now this is the week they probably have a lot of holiday parties. They've got a lot of things going on. They probably had a holiday party from the weekend before, and now they've got more holiday parties this coming weekend. They're likely exhausted. So you want to really get them excited, do something fun and interesting. And so what we did in my shop, what I encouraged you guys to do in the article, is to focus on the Grinch. So when we talk about having these different themes, it's that they're just themes to help inspire your marketing and get you excited and help find ways to communicate to your audience. So focusing on the Grinch, I know I've got a video I want to show you really quickly. Actually, we're gonna try this so this is a video. I know you might have seen it already. Let me pull it. Let me find it. Here we go. Videos. It's by a comedian actually in England. And his name's Mark Bowes. And so I'm going to just play this real quick because I think this is exactly how you can, by hiring a Grinch or bringing a Grinch into your community, if you had someone that was either into theater or just a total character, I bet one of your employees potentially would even have fun with this. So we're going to play it here.
I just want to take Has it gone? I must say I have never been so insulted in all my green life. Don't you know you're not supposed to sneak up on people? What's the matter with you? You're some kind of wild animal. I want golf clubs. I want diamonds. I want a pony that I could ride twice, get bored, and sell it to make glue. You see, the whole Christmas season's just stupid. Hello, dear. Oh, what is that? Where did you get the haircut on that? Oh, can I touch it? Is it real hair? Hello, dear. Wow, this who's really grown into their nose, aren't they? You're a lovely who. You're not a who. You're more like a what? In here. Are you following me, my dear? Don't stand out in the cold now. Come and get a Christmas jumper with me. This is ridiculous. I have to do all my shopping myself. Nobody ever helps me. That one's nice. I like Christmas plates. Socks. Yes, socks. Thermal warmers are great for the winter, you know. My daddy used to get these every year. Oh, look at it. £5. What's a pound? You came along. You 16. 16. Ooh. Oh. Ah.
So isn't that so funny? Oh my gosh. Like I'm cracking up here because that guy's, he's a professional comedian and he's an actor. And so it might be a little tough to bring that into your business exactly in that way. But did you see all those people that had their phones out? They were engaging with him. He was really funny. And so I think that when we talk about focusing on the Grinch, there's a variety of ways that you can do that, even if you don't have the means to bring in someone just like that. So Linda, tell us your ideas you have around the Grinch.
Well, so we all know the Grinch is a bit grumpy, isn't he? So he doesn't really want our dogs to have anything. So you could actually use that as a bit of a marketing message. The Grinch doesn't want your dog to have this fantastic dog bed. He doesn't want you to have this fantastic collar, or he doesn't want you to have these treats. But then you can kind of go on and say, but we know that your dog deserves whatever it is that you want to sell. So you can have that as a little message or a big idea, if you like. And then excuse me, you use that across all the media that we just talked about before. You do the same thing over again. But I think you had some good ideas of using like a little Grinch doll and perhaps hide it in the store as a competition or something. You could use that same Grinch doll in your social media images. So you would have him next to the dog bed, or you would give him to a poor dog and put the dog in the dog bed. And so you kind of tie him into your social media messaging. I think you might want to watch out for using Grinch clip arts and things like that. I'm not really sure what the copyright laws will say about that, but to use a little doll that you've bought, or indeed to dress up like the Grinch, perhaps that's what you should be doing in your live videos.
We have
that should work perfectly.
You guys can see the screen now. This is my old shop, Dogaholics, and we bought this costume. And it's funny is that we did pictures with Santa at the store, and so I already had the Santa part. Right? All I had to buy was this mask and these gloves. And then we put the rest of them in Santa. And so what we did is we had the Grinch hung outside, would stand outside the shop and wave. And people would take pictures and they tagged us. And it was just fun. They were there, the Grinch was there throughout the day engaging in the shop. But yeah, I think taking a picture, of the doll and moving around the store is also good. And another sales strategy with this is that we had to push dog toys. We were overstocked on our holiday dog toys and dog toys in general. And so this was a great week where we asked every single person who came in the door, every single person who walked through, as we started a conversation with them. It wasn't the very first thing we said, but as we got into the conversation, we said, does your dog have a toy under the tree for Christmas or for the holiday? And if they were like, well, no, I guess I haven't bought my dog like a toy for under the Christmas tree. Then you could say, well, don't be a Grinch. We need to find something for you. Your dog needs something special too on Christmas morning. And so that kind of got them to laugh. And then we would take them over. And then the next question in the sales conversation is, so what's your dog's play style? And if they say, oh, he rips everything to pieces, that helps a sales associate know exactly where to go to point to the right type of toy. Exactly. Or that question also, what's your dog's play style, may give you a response of, my dog doesn't play with anything. Okay, now you have to make a switch and find out more about that dog so that you have other recommendations for them to have a present under the tree, right?
Exactly. Probably a good candidate for some nice treats, or perhaps a cozy bed or something like that. Yeah.
So the whole point of this week is that, we've taken the theme of this Grinch. We've found ways to integrate them, have fun for the customers, make it an experience. We've trained our staff on exactly what to say so that they can engage the customer. They can use the theme of the Grinch, like I just said, with, does your dog have a present under the tree? Don't be a Grinch. And then, tell me about your play style. That's a conversation starter that you train with your team, right? You can then create sales competitions with your staff about who can sell the most dog toys in a given day. And they can earn some either dollars and credits for your store, or maybe they actually earn money. And so all in all, this whole concept is being completely cycled through your business on lots of levels, so that it makes your marketing and your strategy and your sales even easier.
Another thing you can use the Grinch for as well is if you think about what people like to do with their kids, that easily translates into what people like to do with their pets nowadays, because a lot of people think of their pets as, as their children. And as a parent, one of the things on my to-do list for this Christmas is to bring him somewhere to be photographed with Santa. Now, if you've got this Grinch costume, then why not invite your customers over to have a photograph with the Grinch? Yes. And it's fantastic. I would love to do that with my dog. He would probably bark his head off, but I would definitely, if my local pet shop was advertising that, I would come over in a jiffy. And I was going to say, a good way to promote that without actually paying an awful lot is on Facebook. If you go on Facebook and you search for your local area, you're most likely going to be able to find a group. In the village where I live now, we have a really, really active Facebook group, and people are posting all sorts of things. Both retailers as well as customers are posting questions for recommendations and events, things like that. So if you're posting something fun, don't make it too salesy, but just say, just an invite for all dog lovers out there. Come and have your photograph taken with the Grinch, and perhaps a little video of a little doggy sitting on the Grinch's lap. The dog lovers would absolutely adore that in the local group. And one good thing about posting things in groups on Facebook is that, again, Facebook gives that preference in people's news feeds, so people actually see it.
Yeah,
And,
I love that you mentioned that because it is true. I recently moved out to the suburbs, and I didn't see it as much. I feel like the groups like that are in the city of Chicago are more about safety and crime.
yeah.
And but here in the burbs, there's just general groups, and it's great. You're right. You could absolutely, and it's not salesy to promote your event in that group because
No, again, you're helping people. You're helping people do something fun with their dog, and then if you help them even more, you could perhaps do a joint promotion with a local photographer who,
right.
I don't know, give them a discount or something on a framed photograph.
Right.
I don't really know, but something like that could be a fantastic joint promotion as well.
Yeah. Well, I love that you brought up pictures of Santa, because my next slide here is the trend that I'm seeing a lot, and that's pictures with bad Santa. Pictures with bad Santa is becoming like a huge hit. This is Fetch Pet Supplies and Gifts. They're in Missouri, and they did this. I think they've already done ones with good Santa. They do one day with the nice traditional Santa, and then they've got bad Santa. And this is the type of stuff that's going to go viral for you. I'm sure every store is going to be different as far as the customers and if they think that this is funny and they'll participate or not. But this is something that, again, is a great thing to do this week to disrupt the focus.
Who is not going to share that photograph on social media? Like, look at my dog. He's sitting.
Yeah. And this too could be if you don't want to focus on the Grinch, maybe you've already done the Grinch. You can focus on bad Santa and kind of have the bad Santa hang around taking pictures, and then maybe it's the bad dogs in your life. Like, do they still get gifts? Of course they do. And here's the solution to help with all these problems, right? So these are our solution bundles for the bad dogs. So there's all, just think any marketing idea that you come up with, think about how you can filter that through all of your business and all your marketing. Okay, now for time's sake, I want to go back to the chat, see if we've got any questions. If you have any questions at all, feel free to type them in the chat. But we've got about 15 minutes left. I just want to push through here now, starting in this final week before Christmas. It's December 18th through the 24th. I encourage you to focus on your inventory. And this is specifically your holiday merchandise or anything that's winter related, because, Christmas falls on a Monday this year, which could be tricky because of Christmas Eve on a Sunday and that Saturday. If you live in an area where people tend to travel, they may leave on Friday night after work. And so you could potentially be a little quieter in your area that weekend. Or if you're a town where everybody typically comes back home too and travels too to be with their family, you could be really busy that weekend because they're going to be at home and they're going to need things to do and they're going to want to be out. Either way, this is your last week to turn that inventory and to move it out, because you are much better to sell that inventory at a discounted price before December 25th than selling it after the holiday or even putting it in storage and saving it for next year. This is probably one of my biggest
storage. It's going to go all ruined. You're going to lose all that money.
Not even ruined, but it's a total waste. You've got to store it. This is like my biggest pet peeve, and I know it's so common for retailers to do this. And even brands that have inventory, they hold on to their inventory for too long, and it's going to get stale. That's all of your cash is tied up into that inventory that you've got right now. And if your customers didn't buy it this Christmas, you can bring some of it out next Christmas, I suppose, but it won't be fresh. It won't be interesting. Don't you want to have new and exciting stuff for them next Christmas? Even for yourself, it's way more fun to have fresh new stuff next Christmas than unboxing something that's like a reminder to you next year that you didn't sell it last year. That's a horrible way to start the season, right?
Exactly. And another thing that a lot of retailers do this time or that time of year, sort of closer to Christmas, they've got a few scattered items here and there, maybe some, snow dogs over there and some other type of things over there on that shelf. And it's really, really hard for the customers to find it. Yes. So what you need to do is you need to take all your Christmas or your holidays inventory and make a new display that looks really impressive and eye-catching. Because otherwise people are not going to find it. If it's all over tiny little things in small shelves, they're not going to look for it. You need to make it really easy for people to find.
Yes.
The easiest way to do that is to make a new display, because then it looks new again.
Yeah, and definitely like all month long, almost every day, you guys should be refreshing, restocking, rearranging. And that's exactly a great point there, Linda, is that this week, if you're going to focus on discounting that holiday merchandise to move it out, it all needs to come together. Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, no one's going to buy it because they can't find it.
They can't find it, and it doesn't look as spectacular. Because at this point, if you are a retailer who's put out your stuff mid-November, who did a big push for a Small Business Saturday, who had maybe like a big holiday kickoff the first weekend, this is now your third week, you're getting close. Your stuff's probably picked over, and if you leave it in these little spots, it's going to look sad and dumpy. You want to bring it all back together, re-merchandise it, put new signage on it, make it fresh. And if you don't, depending on how much you have, like if you have a lot of holiday merchandise, I would suggest bundling things together, like a buy two, get one free, or buy one, get one free if it's that bad. Or, but you want to get people to, the more they buy, the more you're going to move out. So
actually, talking about the bundle, something we did mention earlier when you and I talked, is making little gift baskets and tying ribbons around treats and toys and things like that. Would you be able to bring up that photograph? Because that's might illustrate the point a little bit better.
Sure. Yeah. Let me see.
Because towards the end of the month, you might have a few scattered little toys that are holiday related, and you might have a few treats or cookies. And an easy way to kind of make that into a nice, new, fresh product with or without a discount is simply to tie a little ribbon around it and kind of put a tag on it. Perhaps you could put a Christmas rhyme or just a gift tag, making it easier for people to give it away. Mm-hmm. See if we can manage to get this photograph up.
Yeah, is it up now for you?
Yeah, I can kind of see your entire screen, but yeah, I think you get the point. So this is something we did in the boutique a few years ago now. It was really, really simple to do. You just took a toy, took a packet of treats. I printed off some Christmas rhymes that I found.
Yeah, I can see that there.
Yeah, and it was a little bit of a rhyme of the best guard dog in the world or something like that. You could actually tie that into, I don't know if you can read it.
Yeah, it says, you're the bestest watchdog there ever could be, but please don't, it looks like
nip Santa
when he's under our tree. Oh, disrupt Santa when he's under the tree.
Nip Santa when he's under our tree. So
nip got it, yeah.
Cute sort of thing that makes it easier for people. Imagine you're a house guest somewhere and you want to bring something to the dog. It's a lot easier to bring a gift like that with you because it's kind of like, an excuse. Oh, here's something for the dog as well. And it's nice, cute and fun.
How do I zoom out? You zoom out.
And if you can't find a rhyme, you could just make it a gift tag, something cute.
Yeah. So here's another basket that you did.
Yeah, that's a larger basket. And the reason why I did the large basket was we didn't sell that many of this particular one, but it's eye-catching and people look at the big, more expensive item and then they think, oh, that would be fantastic, but I only want to spend 20 quid. So then they take the smaller one. But at least you then sell the smaller one. But if you don't do any of this, people might just pick up a toy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. I love seeing these brands because these are not brands that we see in the US that I'm aware of.
No, these are from the UK, but it works. It works across the pond as well. It's just different brands. Another thing you could also do this time of year, towards closer to Christmas, is gift certificates or gift vouchers. Especially if you are running some sort of service. Perhaps you have a retail shop with a grooming parlor attached, or perhaps you do walking or something like that. If you do a really cute gift voucher, which you could do on an online service like perhaps canva.com or something like that, do a really cute gift voucher for perhaps a spa day for your dog, or 10 walks, or a walk bundle, or anything like that that you sell, or facials for dogs. I love those, or nail coloring or something like that. Something fun and unusual, or perhaps something to treat your own dog. And you can bundle that together with some of the left behind toys that you still have, some of the merchandise, or toys or treats. Again, put the gift certificate with a ribbon and a treat or a toy, and you have a fantastic present. Yes, and that's very good if you're running low on merchandise as well.
Right, yeah, and on that, but this week too, if you are running low on any holiday merchandise and you don't have a lot to discount, I would recommend putting chewies, bones, things like that are going to keep the dog really busy. when holiday guests are over. So when you think about your register area, if you don't have anything holiday, that's okay. Bring bins and buckets of your longest lasting chews. Again, you can still sell them in bundles, but that's the question then that your sales associate should be asking is, oh, are you having guests to your home, or do you need something to keep your dog busy while the guests are there? Because, you know, again, they're busy thinking about all those other things they need to do to host, and they go, oh yeah, you're right. It would be great if I could put the dog in a crate with a, you know, a bully stick, or if I could, you know, put them over here and keep them busy. So awesome. Okay, great. So then after that, you're going to have had an amazing holiday. You're going to finally get to go home with your own family and dogs. And then it's after post Christmas. I have another poll we can toss up about seeing if people are open on Christmas Eve. You're still watching, but you know, again, Christmas Eve for every area, is, different, you know, and again, this weekend may be different, but we were always open on Christmas Eve, you know, I think, and it got really busy sometimes. So I would encourage you to consider that. Looks like
we would usually see that it would be up until midday we would have people, but then it would taper off because people go home and they need to prepare.
Right. Yeah, so you can close early, like 3 or 4, you know, or depending on sometimes earlier than that, depending on your community. All right, and then after that, you're going to come back from the holidays, and you've got your last week, December 26th, let's say, through December 31st. And I encourage you in that week to regroup. You know, you're going to have to like look at your store or look at your life, like regroup everything, kind of clean it up. Reduce your inventory, right? You want to continue because now you've got inventory. You got to count your inventory at the beginning of the new year. So you want to run a promotion, run a clearance sale, like an after holiday clearance sale, move out that inventory. And then we also encourage you to reflect, right? We all need to take.
And before you leave for Christmas and before you leave for your celebrating your holidays, something that I see a lot of retailers forgetting, and as a customer, this is one of my absolute pet peeves. If I want to go to a shop, I need to know if they're open before I leave the house. I will look online. I will go to Google My Business, which is where you end up if you do a Google search. I will look at their opening hours. And if it's not up to date there, if the shop hasn't updated their opening hours there, I will go to their website and see if they have their opening hours. And then perhaps I'll call and perhaps I will get a voicemail message saying what their opening hours are. And you wouldn't believe how many people forget to update their opening hours. Even putting a simple note on the door, just to let people know that we close early on Christmas Eve. We'll be back January 3rd, 1st, whatever it is. Just make it easy for people to plan their shopping.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Yeah, that's definitely an important point. And even if you are going to be open, just to let people know that you are open and like maybe change your voicemail slightly so that they don't, because you know, it's total, you know, bummer when you go somewhere and you think they're going to be open and then they're not. So, awesome. So that's basically the next 4 weeks. There are lots of things for you to do to maximize your sales. I think ultimately, it's about consistency and marketing, getting the word out. Okay. You wear a lot of hats in your business. You're going to be super, super busy, but you have got to take all of these ideas and you have to talk about them and share them in your email and on social media. And you've got to get the word out as much as you can to make the most profitable holiday season yet for you. So Linda, thank you so much for joining us. And if people want to connect with you, Linda, what's the best way for them to reach you?
The best way to reach me is to go to www.mybrandbuddy.com or find us on Facebook. Those 2 ways are the best ways.
Okay, great. And for everyone watching, we have a community on Facebook called Pet Boss Nation, the group. And that's where I spend a lot of time along with other retailers and manufacturers, and the whole crew from Pets Plus magazine is there as well. And if you want any pet business help, I offer one-on-one coaching and consulting as well as a group coaching program. And you can follow us on social media under Pet Boss Nation, pretty much on everywhere. And I've got some exciting news too for Pets Plus readers. This year in 2018, they are giving us even more issues. They are going to have, I think, 10 issues coming up in the new year. So I know everyone loves the magazine. It's a beautiful magazine. It's jam-packed with amazing content. I know that Linda and I both really love being contributors. And I'm just so excited because now we get one almost every month.
It's really, really good. And unfortunately, I don't get a chance to see the printed version over here, but I do dig through the digital version and it's fantastic. I mean, you've got some really actionable tips and advice in there that you don't get anywhere else. So I adore that magazine.
Yes, yes, we do too. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much, Linda, for joining us. And everyone, we've got another webinar next week with Shauna Shu, and we're talking about how to motivate your employees and get them geared up to help you do all of the selling this season and stay motivated. So thank you so much, Linda, for joining us. And everyone else, I will see you on the next Pets Plus Live Beyond the Pages. Bye-bye, everybody.